Beaver hunting. I'm just walking back to the trap line. Four-wheel drive hasn't been working right, and it's got shitty tires on it, so sometimes it's easier just to walk and put myself in a situation where I gotta call somebody and have them come help me out. Well, I guess if you're watching this, it means that I'm probably doing what I've been thinking about doing. Starting up a YouTube channel and just kind of keeping record of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Not just for other people to watch and enjoy, but it'll, in my thoughts, help me kind of stay ahead of the game or on top of what it is that I'm doing. It's been interesting. A little bit of history. Where I came from, small town. I live about 5 miles outside of the small city, in the middle of a 10-acre woods that bumped up to about 400 acres of family farmland that was leased out. So my whole childhood was spent in the woods and getting in trouble for getting muddy and wet down at the creek. I fished avidly as a young adolescent. I was a very good bass fisherman, and not sure what it was, but all of a sudden I lost interest in the outdoors. All the family had been avid hunters. They were very avid as I was a teenager, and sometimes it was tough to get a hunting spot, so that pushed me towards fishing. Couldn't anybody tell me where I could fish, for the most part, and so that's what I did. I was working as a machinist in a magnesium factory, and a good friend of mine, I went to school with his daughter, and him and I became very close. A guy named John Overla, and he harassed me long enough to actually get me out fishing with him. And we used to take fly rods or the ultralight tackle out. We'd sit in his boat, horizontal to a hole. He had little clickers next to the seats, and we'd see who could get the highest number of bluegill in the boat. Often we'd use little foam spiders on the fly rods, and it was just a blast. Well, that kind of got me back into being outside a little bit more, and unbeknownst to me, he was getting ready to introduce me to something that would, I guess for the most part, change my life. That was trout fishing. There's several species of trout, but the first time he took me, I believe we were going for steelies. At that point, I didn't even know what the hell a steely was, or a steelhead, for some of you that don't know what a steely is. One of the fastest swimming freshwater fish. If I recall, they swim up to about 90 miles an hour, and they're tough to land, especially when you don't know what the hell you're doing, which I didn't at the time. So I went on several steelhead trips with him and watched him land and take home a few, and myself, it was the same results every time. Nil, nothing. And but since I was fishing with him, we tended to be competitive. It kept me going, and not long after he introduced me to that, the next thing you know, I was getting out of work and I was running to these fishing holes myself, and I spent a good couple years just pounding trout streams by myself. Just before dark, I'm walking in waters I've never been in for when it gets dark, and it was just a great adventure. And pretty soon after I'd been fishing for them for a little bit, I had figured out the king salmon. And my drive that pushed me through every year for the most part was that next October. Some people look forward to deer hunting. I was ready for the salmon run, and I got good at it. And sometimes I like to think that I'm still all right at it, but that was all I did for about 23 years was salmon fish. No bass fishing, no pan fishing, no hunting, no anything. And it was last year, well, it was a year and a half ago, I'd gotten into a car accident and broke my tibia. Right where the top of my leg connects to it at my knee. And put me out for a bit. And as I was recovering and getting to be more mobile, I had a little bit of time, so I grabbed my basically non-existent fishing gear and hit it. And it sparked a fire in me that I'd forgotten about. And I'm glad I rediscovered it again. At that point, man, I went nuts. I was fishing every single opportunity I could get, which was basically on a daily basis. As long as my kids didn't have something going on, I was out there. And then I started going back up to the Upper Peninsula, which had been quite some time. Family has property up there, and I started exploring and adventuring around that property, and just the pure magnitude of the wilderness out there. It was just, I don't know, almost jaw-dropping for me. I couldn't believe I'd forgotten about all the beauty that surrounded me. And sometimes that's all it takes. It's just a little submersion in the wilderness to make everything all right. For years, I called that salmon stream my eraser. And it worked no matter what was going on, how shitty it was. The bubble of that water, same kind of bubble that comes out of this place, would make me forget about all that shit. And so here I am at 43 years old, rediscovering that. And now I've got the means to kind of go do the things that I wasn't as an adolescent. And honestly, I was a bit upset that I'd stepped away from it for so long. I mean, this outdoors has been a good educator for me. If you pay attention, there's lots of stories it'll tell you when you're not even realizing it. But I guess that's part of life, huh? So now I've delved myself into the wilderness, gotten back into hunting, fishing, and this year I even ran a trap line. So, word to the wise on this channel, I'm gonna kill shit on here. I'm gonna eat stuff on here. And just like any other normal hunter or fisherman, I have mistakes. And you're probably gonna see some of them, and hopefully you see a little bit of success too. So, that's it. Catch you on the next one.